Past for these Ole Miss fans. A decade after Coach O fell flat as their head man, he now returns to Ole Miss, leading their bitter rivals.
Let's go!
LSU has bounced back in recent weeks, but tonight they face one of the very best passing attacks in the country. Quarterback Shea Patterson is revving up the Rebels. It's been an up, down, and back up again season here in Oxford. But when it comes to primetime parties, the Grove is still undefeated. The Magnolia Bowl gets the spotlight on ESPN College Football Primetime, presented by Hampton by Hilton. From Claude Hemingway Stadium here in Oxford, Mississippi, number 24 LSU, with those back-to-back SEC wins they're coming off of, taking on the Ole Miss Rebels. As we say good evening, always a great atmosphere for primetime in Oxford. Joe Tessitore, Todd Blackledge. We'll say hello to Holly Rowe in just a moment. Both these teams have made mid-season corrections because both these teams were in a troubling place. LSU the back-to-back wins, and Ole Miss getting that up-tempo offense back.
Well, they hit rock bottom, both of these teams. For Ole Miss, it was the midst of a 3-game losing streak, but somewhere in there, the second half of the Auburn game, they started to come alive, and it really was the leading of their quarterback, the sophomore Shea Patterson, the gunslinger. Their offense really took off. Last week, they set season highs for points and yards. For LSU, their bottom was a devastating loss at home to Troy. But since that time, 2 wins against SEC opponents, and their defense led the way. And what's happened with their defense in the fourth quarter of those 2 wins, unbelievable. They held Florida and Auburn to no points, a total of 74 yards and only 3 first downs. That is suffocating defense, and that's what's led the turnaround for LSU.
And makes for a good matchup here. That defense against this offense that went for over 600 yards last week against Vandy. The Magnolia Bowl rivalry matchup is brought to you by Wendy's, a matchup that's included a few of college football's most memorable moments through the years. Billy Cannon's Halloween run and the night when time stood still in 72 and the home team has won the last 5. Ole Miss won the toss, and they have decided to receive. '106th meeting. Started playing back in 1894. Cameron Gamble will be kicking away for LSU, and Jalen Jones, who has 1 kickoff return touchdown this year, back for the Rebs. Let's go down to the field and say good evening to Holly.
Well, I understand why Ole Miss wants the ball on offense. That's because the last 2 games, their offense has finally got it rolling. They are faster and playing with more tempo and pace. They're averaging about 15 more plays per game in their last 2. And Phil Longo, the offensive coordinator, said, you know, early in the season, I was over on the sideline, winding my fingers, get it going, get it going. He said the last 2 games, it's the players on the field telling me, get it going, get it going. That tempo should wear out defenses and have some effect as they finally have found a rhythm this season.
Longo in his first year as the play caller here at Ole Miss. Shea Patterson and Jordan Wilkins making up that backfield to get the night started. Here is Patterson. Plenty of time as it was incomplete. He was looking for A.J. Brown, who has been quite the force. Patterson himself is coming off a 351-yard 4-touchdown performance against Vandy.
He has thrown the ball well and for a lot of yards all season, but the last 2 weeks he's taken care of the football, and he is the guy pushing the tempo.
Wilkins finds a nice crease.
I think this has been a big addition to the Ole Miss offense the last 2 games, is their running game, which was struggling when we saw them against Alabama, has kind of kicked it into gear, and Jordan Wilkins at 100% is a big part of that.
3rd and less than 1. Quick throw and incomplete as Brown couldn't hold on 3rd and short.
That's the hardest play that LSU will have to defend tonight. The play action with the RPO quick slant. This should have been a completion for an easy first down. The normally reliable A.J. Brown just couldn't hold on to it. That's a hard pass route to cover in man-to-man.
That guy is dangerous. DJ Chark. 2 punt return touchdowns on the year. Here's the Aussie Gleason with the rugby-style punt. That takes a very good roll down to the 10 for Ole Miss. 56-yard punt from Gleason. And Danny Etling, the senior from Indiana. Of course, he started his career at Purdue. Now 12-5 as the starter for LSU. And the comeback win against Auburn last week, and he was at his best when they needed him most on third downs. He was 7 of 12 against Auburn.
Well, I really think Danny Etling has done a nice job managing this offense, and what LSU wants to see tonight is a healthy Darius Geis, their best player, who has been bothered by a knee injury all season. They think he's the healthiest he's been, and right now, here he is.
There he is in motion, and they will give him the ball on that jet motion, and it works out well as right away Geis picks up a first down.
The jet sweep has been the biggest run play for LSU.
Defense number 40, penalties decline. Play results in a first down.
More of their big running plays have actually come from wide receivers. That time they put Darius Geis in a wide receiver position and gave him the football, but that jet sweep has been very effective.
See the chunk plays for LSU this year. 5 plays of 20-plus yards from the receivers, only 4 from the backs. Here's Geis again, and he looks healthier, doesn't he, Todd?
Yeah, he sure does. I mean, when he is healthy, he's as good a running back as there is in college football. This is power, downhill football by LSU. If there's one area that Ole Miss has struggled with this season, it's stopping the run against powerful teams. Alabama ran for over 350 yards against them. Auburn ran for 326 yards. And that's where LSU is going to challenge them.
2nd and 1. Quickly to Darrell Williams. Well blocked, and Darrell Williams past midfield. It's a dash down the sideline. Big chunk play from Darrell Williams as Woods finally tracked him down. 63 yards there.
Well, really bad angle by Jalen Jones. Watch the safety, 31. He's going to be unblocked, and he's going to take a bad angle to Darrell Williams. Right there, he misses the tackle, and LSU with a big play from their tailback on an easy pass down the sidelines. LSU playing with both of their starting tailbacks in the game together. This is what Matt Canada wanted to do all year.
That is Geis circling back in motion. This is Williams, tackled for a loss that time by DeMarcus Gates.
DeMarcus Gates is their leading tackler. And the area where they have excelled this year is negative plays, the sacks and the tackles for loss. They're not big and physical enough to really hold up against power running teams, but their speed and quickness does allow them to make some plays behind the line of scrimmage, and that was a nice play by their leader, Gates.
Geis and Williams remain in together here on 2nd and goal.
Geis is a very good receiver out of the backfield as well. Coming into the game, 5 receptions, but he's got really good hands.
Geis is met at the 5-yard line by Breland Speaks.
One of the areas that LSU has had problems with this year is their offensive line. They've had injuries, they've had changes, and tonight they've got a true freshman starting at left tackle, a true freshman starting at right guard. And right now a very difficult 3rd down situation.
Their senior starting left tackle, K.J. Malone, the son of the NBA all-time great Karl Malone, injured, out of action. 3rd and goal. Etling extending the play. And he is forced down, pushed all the way back by Marquise Haynes, #1 in career sacks here at Ole Miss.
Well, the play was made by Breland Speaks, #9. Watch #9 collapse the pocket. He's going to get pressure and force Etling out, and then Marquise Haynes is going to knock him out of bounds. But Speaks collapsed the pocket, And then Haynes knocked him out of bounds. Good pass rush by Breland Speaks on that third down play.
So it'll be a 35-yard attempt by Connor Culp, who made 2 field goals in the final 2.5 minutes last week against Auburn. And he continues his solid ways. Coach O back here in Oxford, up a field goal. 35-yard field goal. Of course, LSU coming off back-to-back wins over top 25 teams, finding some momentum this season. You're watching the SEC on ESPN from here at Vaught Hemingway Stadium. Joe Tessitore, Todd Blackledge, Holly Rowe with you in Oxford tonight.
I know LSU happy to get on the board first, but that's kind of a win for this Ole Miss defense. Coming into the ball game, they had given up 71% touchdowns in the red zone. To make LSU have a 1st and goal at the 5 and come away with 3, that's a good possession for Ole Miss.
Jalen Jones on the return. Number 2 in the SEC in kickoff return yardage. Comes up short of the 20. Adnan, what's up? He is fun to watch, Baker Mayfield.
So the challenge for Ole Miss tonight, Joe, the strength of their team is their wide receiving core and their passing game. And they're going to see a lot of man coverage out of this LSU defense. LSU prides themselves on being able to play press man-to-man.
Wilkins bottled up and then shakes loose, kept his balance, and still ahead out to the 32-yard line. Jordan Wilkins has been playing some good ball lately.
He sure has, and nobody wrapped him up. Some guys bounced him around. Nobody got arms around him, and Wilkins does what all good backs do, keeps those legs moving.
Patterson downfield. Some contact there, and a flag comes in late as DK Metcalf, big-bodied redshirt freshman, was the target for Patterson.
Contact.
Kevin Tolliver with the coverage there.
Working man-to-man against Kevin Tolliver. Contact as the ball was in the air.
Defense number 2. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
This is a defense that doesn't put their hands on you the way some other guys do, although there's a left hand with a grab at the end. But they just try to turn and run and guide you with their bodies. And that time, they drew the flag. Metcalf, Lodge, and Brown, 3 outstanding receivers.
Guys with size as well. Wilkins this time was met by John Battle.
You know, it's hard to be one-dimensional offensively in a league like this where they play defense the way they do in the SEC. Last week, Ole Miss offensively ran for 252 yards. By far the best game they had all season running it. Before that, they only had gone over 100 one time. That was the opener against South Alabama when they had 102. So that kind of balance is what they're trying to get a better look with their offense.
2nd and 7. Patterson gets it complete as he's able to get it to Dawson Knox, who has really emerged as a very good playmaker.
Very versatile player because he's big and strong enough to play on the end of the line and block as a tight end. But he can also play like a wideout.
Matt Luke has been excited about his development, the interim head coach who took over this summer after all the troubling news with Hugh Freeze.
The tendency right now for Ole Miss, when that tight end is detached, when he's out, and here he is right here, they're about 90% pass.
Look at the time for Shea Patterson as he goes underneath to Penniman, just a gain of about 2 yards that time.
See, LSU had that play well defended. The formation suggested pass. They had lots of guys in coverage and made it a very short game. Now when he's up in here in the core, they're 50-50 runner pass.
Here's Penniman, and once again met by Battle.
Really, I think, and so does Dave Aranda, the defensive coordinator at LSU, thinks that's when this Ole Miss offense is at its best. When he's in the core and it can be run or pass, that's when they're the most difficult to defend.
3rd down and 5.
Arden Key, he's their best pass rusher. This is a game that sets up for him. He's playing himself back into his normal shape. He's played well the last couple weeks.
One of the very top NFL prospects coming off the edge. Patterson on 3rd and 5. As coming back to the ball, it is complete to DeMarcus Lodge for a 1st down.
That is really good work by both Patterson and Lodge. Patterson, when he leaves the pocket, his eyes do not leave downfield. He's scrambling to throw, and Lodge does a great job of continuing to come back to the football.
Patterson, he has a lane. There's Tyler Taylor, who's playing middle linebacker with Donnie Alexander, not at full strength. Here's that catch moments ago. Look at him getting the back of the cone there. The back end of the ball, Todd.
He's the 4th leading receiver in the league. A.J. Brown, the leading receiver.
Wilkins. Not much room against the interior of that LSU front.
Devin White in there on the tackle. He's the leading tackler on this team, also in the SEC. Had 15 tackles last week against Auburn. 5 games in a row with double-digit tackles. Converted running back. Plays really well sideline to sideline.
3rd down and 6. 9th play of this drive for Ole Miss.
Last time on 3rd down, they only rushed 3 and dropped 8. And Arden Key dropped into coverage the last 3rd down. I got to guess he's coming this time.
Play clock down to 1. 3rd and 6 for Patterson. With pressure right in his face, he gets it to Dawson Knox. Let's check this spot here. Looks like they're going to mark him maybe a half a yard shy.
But you see the receiving skills of the big tight end. Knox is 6'4", 250 pounds. And he reached out and snatched that ball as he was going to the ground like a wideout. Former quarterback in high school, played at Brentwood Academy in Nashville, Tennessee.
See the effort by Knox as they will pull the chains. And Matt Austin, who heads up this SEC crew, shows us that about half a yard.
Well, LSU got on the board first. I think if it was 0-0, Ole Miss might think about going for it here. And they still might, but Matt Luke probably would be wise to try to tie this football game up. Crowd doesn't
exactly
love it.
The decision that he will make, as Gary Wunderlich, who didn't play last week, got injured in the road game at Cal, and his hamstring's been bothering him. It's his plant leg. That's the injured leg, but he had a good week of practice, feels fresh enough to go. This from 31. And that's as reliable as he has been time and time again throughout his outstanding career. We are tied up nearby the Grove.
ESPN College Football is presented by Hampton by Hilton. Book a room today and follow your team all the way. And in part by Buick, proud partner of the NCAA.
Well, you know that Landshark was first adopted by the Ole Miss defensive unit in football, but everybody has gotten into the act for years now. And a few weeks ago, it was announced that Landshark will replace the bear as the official mascot of the school. They are in the design phase, but the new costume mascot come fall 2018 will be the Landshark.
The Landshark. They'll still be called the Rebels, but their mascot will be a Landshark. Candy green.
Here's Luke Logan kicking away. as it is a line drive that bounces into the end zone here in Oxford, where Ed Orgeron spent 3 years as the head coach of Ole Miss.
One team, one heartbeat, one family.
I had a great opportunity at Ole Miss, and I'm very grateful for the Ole Miss people hiring me and taking a chance, but I didn't get the job done. I learned my strengths and weaknesses. It's never going to be about me. It's always going to be about LSU and this football team.
Coach O was here 2005 to 07, was 0-8 in SEC play in his final season. Geis nearly tripped up and then spins ahead for 9.5 yards.
Well, already I'm loving what I'm seeing out of Darius Geis. You know, I talked to him on the field before the game. We met with him the last time we had them, and he's got a lot of swagger to him. And I went up to him, I said, are we going to see the real you tonight? He says, where's the fake one? I said, no, I don't mean that. I mean, are we going to see a healthy Darius Geis? He says, yeah, I feel good.
Yeah,
he looks good.
I don't think they liked the last time they saw us. That was that road game at Mississippi State. Geis again going to test the left side, and here he goes. Darius Geis back healthy and revving the engine, taken down after a big gainer as Geis will make it 1st and goal.
It's an unbalanced line, so they have an extra lineman at tight end. They outflanked the Ole Miss defense. Toby Weathersby, the right tackle, lined up as the tight end on the left that side.
And now Geis cuts back and spins his way in for the touchdown. 59-yard run and then a 7-yard dash for 7 more.
Toby Weathersby, who missed the Auburn game, back in the starting lineup. They ran behind him on the long run, and they ran behind him on the touchdown, one side to the other. And Darius Geis off to a great start in this one.
Where's the fake one, he said, huh, Todd? That's the real deal right there. Hasn't been at 100%, but he's feeling pretty good right now. His 6th rushing touchdown of the season. And LSU is up 10-3 here in Oxford. Darius Geis in his last 3 games only totaled 135 yards and a touchdown. Already 98 and a rushing touchdown. Those vintage styled helmets for Ole Miss tonight. Jones is going to take a knee, and we're going to take a visit to Adnan. That's a big one, and he's a big-time player, tracking #1 in Heismanology polling this week. You see what he's done breaking down the touchdowns this year.
Such a great matchup. The offensive coordinator, Joe Moorhead, against Don Brown. The defensive coordinator, Michigan, putting him in the Wildcat, picks up an extra blocker and a big play early in the game for the Nittany Lions.
Wilkins, nice block that he picked up as well, as Jordan Wilkins goes for 9.
The more balance that Ole Miss can have in their offense, the better they're going to be. They had it last week against Vanderbilt. This is a better defense in LSU, but so far, pretty nice balance for Ole Miss.
And a 1st down for Ole Miss. A gain of 2 for Wilkins.
First possession, they targeted A.J. Brown twice, didn't come away with the completion.
Going to take a shot downfield, looking for Lodge, and it was right in and out of his hands. Patterson can't believe it.
You just have to win one-on-one battles because LSU is going to play man the whole night. Greedy Williams, their best cover corner, running stride for stride. It's a perfectly thrown ball, and Lodge just not able to come down with it.
Few costly drops early on from the Ole Miss receivers. Second and 10, quickly to Wilkins, looking for that edge, and he was tripped up before he could even get to Jacob Phillips, who was just waiting on him. And limping off now is Wilkins.
Yeah, that's not a good thing for Ole Miss. He was injured early in the year, came back about midway through the Alabama game when we had him. He ran for 102 yards against Alabama's defense, which is not easy to do. And he's been healthy since then, but that's not a good sign right there.
So Penniman comes into the game as Wilkins limped off. 3rd and 11. Pressure in the B gap. They pick it up. And unable to get free was Shea Patterson. Lockature and Arden Key getting involved.
First time they decided to really come after Shea Patterson. It's a 6-man rush. So both linebackers are coming along with their speed rushers on the edge. And they get to Shea Patterson. Arden Key, the first guy there to collapse the pocket. And LSU with a nice play on 3rd down.
Gleason, as he comes across his body, and this time not as favorable of a roll for Ole Miss, but still a decent punt from Gleason. Let's check in with that man again. Guy who's having a big night. Mayfield is creeping up on nearly 400 yards passing, a couple of touchdowns.
This is the time of year and the point in the schedule, Joe, when those Heisman moments present themselves. And that's what Baker Mayfield had last week and again this week. That's what Saquon Barkley has tonight and the next 2 weeks.
And keep in mind, Bryce Love with an off week, the Stanford running back. Darrell Williams with a gain of 3.5 yards.
Well, already tonight we're seeing what LSU wanted to be offensively all year, and that is having Darrell Williams and Darius Geis play together a lot. They've been on the field together. That gives them a lot of versatility. You take a look right now, 7 times already for 141 yards when those two are together, because it makes them very difficult to defend. They can do a lot of different things.
Etling, he's only passed it once tonight. And he just floats that out of bounds as Breland Speaks was giving chase.
Probably the best thing Danny Etling has done for LSU this year is make decisions like that. He's not going to beat you with his feet. He's not the most accurate passer, but he's smart and he makes good decisions and he takes care of the football for the most part. He's only had 1 interception the entire season.
Marquise Haynes had 3 sacks last week against Vandy. 3rd and 7. Maybe a chance to get after Danny Etling here.
Well, this is the time for him to shine right here. Here he is on the bottom, number 38.
Timeout LSU, the first time out of the half.
They'll talk over a 3rd and 7, and we'll get after it when we come back to Ole Miss. Early on this season, LSU looked like the team we expected to see. Defense was awesome against BYU and Chattanooga. And then came the surprise. Blasted in Starkville and bottomed out against Troy. Then the bounce back. Big wins, Florida and a top 10 Auburn team, and now they arrive here at this rivalry game.
Clock operator, please reset the game clock to 1:59. 1:59.
So after the timeout, LSU's offense
Please reset the game clock to 1:59.
Facing a 3rd and 7.
Now before that timeout, the ball was snapped, and the best pass rusher, Marquise Haynes, was dropping into coverage. This is a guy that he is at his best when he is running full speed with his ears pinned back to the quarterback. I would be surprised if he's dropping into coverage again this time.
They're trying to add a second to the game clock is what the official delay was from the crew, and they have done that. 1:59 remaining here in the first quarter. So here's your 3rd and 7.
True freshman left tackle on that side.
And whistles again.
Right tackle moved. Toby Weathersby, the right tackle, moved early. There was movement by the defense as well.
Start. Offense number 66. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Again, Weathersby was out last week with the injury. He's already had a positive impact. Penalties were really a problem early in the year for LSU. They've cleaned their act up quite a bit.
Remember, penalties were such a big deal with that game at Mississippi State. A couple of touchdowns were pulled off the board because of them. 3rd and 12.
Where Danny Etling needs to be very smart with the football. You've got the lead, and this is a tough situation, 3rd and long.
Flag is down. This could be a free play for LSU as he gets it to Russell Gage, who wiggles his way out to the 27-yard line, but we will check on the flag.
It looked like Benito Jones, number 95, got an early jump right over the center, trying to anticipate the snap.
Offside, defense number 95. 5-yard penalty. Repeat 3rd down.
He's been a very consistent player for them this year. Got a big fumble recovery last week against Vanderbilt. That time just a little too jumpy right over the nose.
A couple years ago, he was the Mississippi Player of the Year when he was coming out of high school. 3rd and 7 we're back to now for Danny Etling and the Tigers. Etling being chased down, and he is sacked by Speaks.
Nice little stunt this time between Benito Jones and Speaks. Speaks lined up outside and came inside. Here he is. Benito Jones is going to go outside. Speaks will come inside again. Some new guys on this offensive line. They don't block Speaks, and he gets the sack. Nice little game by the defensive front.
27-year-old Zach Von Rosenberg, former minor league baseball player, out there to punt. And a fair catch by A.J. Brown. Adnan, what's up? Heisman is about moments. It's about the big stage. And that guy is built for it. And tonight could be one of those defining moments in his campaign.
Big time players make big time plays in big time games. That's what it's about.
Well, Devon Penniman remains in there as the running back for Ole Miss as they start this offensive series. They fake the pitch, coming in hard. Ball is out, as it was Arden Key coming in hard on Shea Patterson, and Ole Miss able to recover, but a loss of 6.
Yeah, Shea's got to get rid of this football. That clock in his head's got to go off. Arden Key goes right around the left tackle, and Shea Patterson holds on that ball too long.
And that's not just any left tackle. That's Greg Little, who was one of the biggest national recruits a couple of years ago, and a guy who's thought of as a NFL prospect. And Arden Key just went right past him, Todd.
Arden Key, when the season started, when he first came back, he was heavy. He has been on a real strict program with the nutritionist at LSU. He's lost a lot of weight in the last 4 weeks, and he looks quicker and better than he did when the season started.
Good old-fashioned SEC rivalry game. Ole Miss and LSU, and Geis, the difference on the scoreboard right now, 10-3 Tigers. Our Sunday NFL Countdown is the way to get your NFL Sunday started. 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN. You know, Patriots and Falcons are going to have that Super Bowl rematch, and Brady and Matt Ryan are sitting down for a look back. Plus, Monday Night Football, Redskins and Eagles. Coverage begins with Monday Night Countdown at 6 Eastern on ESPN. Carson Wentz is playing great ball right now.
Another third down and long situation for Ole Miss. They're 1 for 4 on third down, but the last two have been 3rd and 11 and now 3rd and 16.
Saw Jordan Wilkins on the sideline, limped off the field in the first quarter. We start the second quarter here with him facing a 3rd and 16. Pressure right up the middle on Patterson as he's able to get free, and he'll be a little short, but out past midfield for the Rebels, a gain of 14.
The left guard, Javon Patterson, just late picking up the blitzing Devin White. Patterson did a nice job trying to get to the first down marker, but that 16 yards needed, just too much.
He's able to trot Will Gleason out onto the field.
Yeah, you're right in this game. You don't want to give LSU a short field. Try to pin them back here and see if your defense can keep them down there.
Gleason's pretty crafty at doing just that. And that's now 16 of his 26 punts this season, resulting in a fair catch. Let's look at our Buick Drive recap, Todd.
Well, LSU running the football, going right at this Ole Miss defense, mixing in the pass, short pass to Darrell Williams, but the blocking downfield, staying on blocks, has been key so far early in the game. Watch the touchdown run by Darius Geis. Guys sticking on to blocks. Good technique and staying with blocks. And Darius Geis, who looks healthier than he's been all year, off to an outstanding start.
He had the big run, had the touchdown. Williams had the 63-yard reception. You see what they've been able to combine for on the field together.
They're both good receivers, and they can both line up in multiple spots.
This time out to the 11-yard line. Evans with the tackle.
Again, this offense that LSU's running now with Matt Canada, they use a lot of pre-snap shifts and motions. They try to confuse you and try to get you outflanked. They'll have a lot of times when they end up in an unbalanced front, which means a tackle is lined up as a tight end and a tight end is lined up as a tackle. And then they run inside with the back and jet sweep with their wide receivers.
Remember, Canada was the OC at Pitt, and they set plenty of records there. Williams to the outside as he was cut down by Jalen Julius.
We saw Geis run a jet sweep earlier. That was Williams on a jet sweep. That was really well played by Jalen Julius, getting off of a block and making a tackle. Big third down play right here for the Ole Miss defense. They get a stop, they can get a shorter field.
Third and 3, pressure right up the middle, picked up quickly out and into the hands of Geis for a first down for LSU.
Well, again, you see the versatility of Darius Geis. He was going the wrong way. Danny Etling got him lined up in the right spot, the slot to the short side, and then hit him with the first down completion. Empty backfield. Ole Miss tried to bring pressure inside. It was picked up very nicely by LSU's offensive line.
Geis again, and look at him fight for extra yards, and finally the rest of the Rebels defense corralling him.
You know, coming into this game, he was only averaging 4.3 yards per carry. He's blowing that out of the water tonight. Power football inside. He's 8 carries for 111 yards right now. And this is the kind of running from the tailback position that they were hoping to get all year.
Young man halfway through his junior year and top 10 in LSU history in rushing yards. And you know how many good ones have come through Baton Rouge. 2nd and 1, jet motion. Gage as he goes up high to move the chains. Holly.
Coaches told us before the game that Darius Geis is going to be the guy that we saw run like this last year, and their promise has come true. They told us that he got nicked up in training camp. A knee injury has kept him at not 100%, but he is running hard tonight. They said this has been the first full week that he has done everything in practice. Both he and Darrell Williams are back at full strength, and boy, have we ever seen it. Tommy Robinson, their position coach, said, "Get ready tonight. I think my boys are going to run loose."
The difference, he's always run hard, but he's got that extra gear tonight, Holly, that he has not had previously.
Show the same jet motion with Gage and go back to Geis.
You know, he ran hard against Florida. He ran hard against Auburn. He didn't gain a lot of yards. He didn't have many big plays, but he's got a little extra gear tonight that he has not had. And the combination of he and Darrell Williams on the field together is creating some confusion and some problems for the Ole Miss defense.
Like situations like this, where he's the number 2 receiver to the top, and Williams is in the backfield as Geis will reverse pivot in motion, and they will run a GT counter with Williams with some success.
A nice job by Morrow. They use a lot of tight ends. Their tight ends are lead blockers. That time, Morrow, part of that counter play. 3rd down and short. They've had good success on those 3rd down and short situations.
3rd and 2. As Wilkins is heading off with a trainer. And Geis will have the first down for LSU.
The one thing we haven't seen from LSU yet, and this is a big part of what they do, and they're set up for it right now, is a maximum protection, play action, deep shot down the field. They've not shown it yet, and usually DJ Chark is the guy they look for in that situation. They've run it very successfully, and they're in a perfect position right now to go for one.
There's number 7 running out there, the SEC Offensive Player of the Week at 150 at that big punt return against Auburn. Nearly got in the way of the snap that time. Let's go to the studio again. That offense is awesome to watch, Adnan. By the way, Mayfield went for 410 passing with 32 completions and 69 rushing with 2 more rushing touchdowns. As Williams out past midfield. Gain of 5 there. It'll be 3rd down.
Last year in this game in Baton Rouge, LSU won 38-21. The game was tied 21-21 at halftime, and then Leonard Fournette just took over the game.
There's a flag at the end of that play, Todd. You see it down there at the 45.
Offense number 64. 10-yard penalty. Repeat, 2nd down.
Will Clapp, the center.
There it is, the left hand of Will Clapp pulling down the linebacker Taylor Polk. Wipes out a nice run by Darrell Williams. But last year in this game, Leonard Fournette ran for 284 yards. Just took over the game. And Darius Geis is trying to do the same thing tonight.
Well, makes it a 2nd and 18. They're only at the 38, yet 10th play here of this drive. Etling trying to escape Speaks, but he was tripped up from behind.
Well, we talked a lot about Marquise Haynes coming into the game, but Breland Speaks tonight has been their primary pass rusher. He has worked on everybody. Again, going around the freshman tackle, Sadiq Charles, number 77, and Breland Speaks is having himself a ball game. Ole Miss is a little thin on their defensive front. A couple of their defensive ends went down with injuries a week ago.
They're ready to roar for a stop. Etling escapes for the moment and then ridden down by A.J. Moore.
Guys, you talked about Breland Speaks being very active early for Ole Miss. He's doing a nice job. He usually plays as an inside defensive tackle or nose tackle, but he is bumped outside the defensive end due to the injury to Victor Evans and Kadir Shepard. Both of the defensive ends are kind of hybrid rush ends, have been injured and have had surgeries this week. They're on the sideline in crutches. So Breland Speaks, when his name was called, stepping up big as a starter on the end.
Yeah, he's having a nice ball game.
Von Rosenberg punts this one away. Is off to the side.
One of the things we got to find out about Ole Miss, Jordan Wilkins, who has played very well the last few weeks, went out early in the game. They need him in the football game if he's capable of playing.
Ole Miss starting running back Jordan Wilkins has been taken to the locker room. They had thought he could return to this game, taped him up, and as he tried to move on the sidelines and get that right ankle moving, he was simply unable to do it. They've taken him to the locker room for further evaluation. His return is questionable. So Devon Penniman, a sophomore, is going to have to step up his game now. And also Eric Sweeney is also a backup.
And Holly, as you know, an Ole Miss team that ran for 252 yards against Vandy last week. Most rushing yards they've had in an SEC game since 2009. Let's see if they miss Wilkins here. And Sweeney able to get to the outside on the right side for a first down.
Sweeney has more juice as far as making people miss and getting to the perimeter than Penniman. Penniman is the physical back who has kind of been the goal line short yardage guy, but with Wilkins out, he'll have to play a lot more.
Quick pass and quick tackle as Dante Jackson was right on top of A.J. Brown. 1 versus 1 there in jersey number.
Ole Miss coming into this game averaging almost 7 yards a play. LSU's defense has held them to under 4 yards a play so far in the first half. No big plays, nothing over the top on this defense yet.
They fake the end around, wide open downfield, but picked off. He didn't see the safety. Metcalf had space, but Delpit was waiting. Interception, Tigers.
Delpit is a true freshman. He's learning on the job right in the middle of the field. Number 9 looking at the quarterback, breaks on the ball beautifully. Patterson didn't see him, but Delpit saw the football.
ESPN College Football, brought to you by Nissan, premier partner of the Heisman Trophy, and Wendy's fresh, never frozen beef hamburgers, the official hamburger of the NCAA.
Always a great setting here in Oxford.
Nice.
It's a primetime game, LSU and Ole Miss, and Delpit moments ago with the interception of Shea Patterson. 10-3 LSU. What a turnaround it has been for the Tigers midseason. Play action now. Etling steps up and then tucks and runs and able to get himself to the 25.
That's the first time on first down that LSU has tried to throw the football. Prior to that, 9 rushing plays on first down. And a good decision, again, by Etling. It's not there. Don't force a throw down the field. And gain 5 yards by tucking the football.
There's the medical tent. Shea Patterson's in there.
Looking
threw
at
his first interception in his last 99 pass attempts.
Looking at his right knee, which is his plant foot. And that's Jordan Ta'amu warming up the backup quarterback.
2nd and 5. Etling again, this time able to connect with his tight end, John David Moore, for a first down.
Run the football with success, as LSU has done tonight. All those little play actions and bootlegs are open because as a defense you have to respect the run, you have to respect the run fake. And Danny Etling with a nice easy throw and catch for the first down.
First down run for Williams. Let's check in with Holly. Ball came out at the end there, and they're going to rule him down at the 39. Holly, take it away.
Well, when Shea Patterson came off the field, the Ole Miss quarterback was pointing to his right knee for the athletic trainers to look at something on the outside of that right knee. They put him in the medical tent. He's sitting up on a table. I could see in through that tent that they're doing some ligament stability tests on that knee. He's kind of laying on his back as they test his knee. So we'll definitely keep you updated on what's happening with Shea Patterson here.
It's kind of odd to see him running after throwing the ball there. There was no contact. He was running fine after he threw the ball, and then all of a sudden was limping. There's Geis on 2nd and 7 as he's able to bounce it to the outside, and Geis will have a first down just short of midfield. And he was down there.
See, if you have a knee injury, you're not going to be able to bounce like this. I mean, watch Darius Geis. He's going to make 2 bounces. Here's one, and here comes another one. Boom. Plant that right foot and turn this into another positive game. Darius Geis, 11 carries, 126 yards now.
11.5 per tonight against this Ole Miss defense. Etling downfield looking for Chark. Had to wait for it, and that brings out the flag. The underthrow created contact with Hamilton.
Yeah, and this was not an intentional underthrow. This is just Danny Etling not able to get the ball deep enough for Chark. And Javian Hamilton, unfortunately, is unlucky on this play. First down pass, only the second time.
Defense number 21. 15-yard penalty for the previous spot. Automatic first down.
Second time they tried to throw on first down. We talked about the play action deep shot. Danny Etling just not able to get enough on the football. And Hamilton, once he saw the receiver stop, couldn't stop his own momentum from running into Chark. That's a tough play for a corner.
First down, receiver stack formation to the top of your screen. And now they run Dillon in jet motion as they hand off to Williams, who finds a seam inside the 30.
Well, we mentioned the problems this Ole Miss defense has had stopping the run. Alabama, 51 carries, 365 yards. Auburn, 51 carries, 326 yards. And even Vanderbilt last week, 188 yards on the ground, average 5 yards per carry. LSU right now 140 here in the first half. Very hard when you can't defend the run any better than that.
Play caller's dream, 2nd and 2. Williams right behind that block of John David Moore, and that'll move the chains. That's the guy they call the crime dog, Wesley McGriff, the defensive coordinator for Ole Miss. Tom.
Another unbalanced line look. Wesley McGriff seeing a little bit of everything tonight. It's pretty nice when you can line up your tight end as a tackle in an unbalanced line and run behind him and pick up a first down.
Williams again as he's taken down at the 21-yard line, a gain of 4. Robinson with the tackle. A little bit of tempo here now by Matt Canada, play caller for LSU. 2nd and 6, 8th play of this drive. Gonna loft it up. Sullivan couldn't collect it.
Now, this is a perfect throw by Danny Etling. Right over the outside shoulder, thrown on time into the right spot. Pretty nice play at the end by the corner, getting a hand in there. As Ken Webster defending that play because that was a well-thrown ball, but Webster able to rip it out.
3rd and 6. Going into that closed end zone with the extra fans.
Leland Speaks has been dynamic on 3rd down pass rush so far.
In and out of the hands of Gage. Would have been a 1st down.
Ball was thrown a little bit behind Gage, but still a very catchable pass. Russell Gage has been probably their most reliable receiver all year. Ball's a little bit behind, but still one that he's got to come down with. And for the most part this year has come down with.
Culp has made 4 straight field goals now. This a 38-yard attempt made from 35 earlier. And it looks like LSU has solved their place kicking problem of just a few weeks ago. 10-point lead for the Tigers.
Quarterback for Ole Miss, Shea Patterson, has been taken to the locker room with a right knee injury. I can tell you that as he limped past me, guys, he is very upset by whatever has occurred. In his place, Jordan Ta'amu is getting into the game for the first time. He hasn't thrown a pass all season, just 3 rushing attempts. All of his teammates just came to him on the sideline. They're trying to pump him up. Phil Longo, the offensive coordinator, just came, had a long chat with him, like, go slow, we're going to take this easy. This will be a new experience. Not a single pass attempt yet this season for Jordan.
No, Holly, last week just had those 3 runs for 32 yards, Jordan Ta'amu. So they will be absent of Shea Patterson, who is top 10 nationally in passing touchdowns and total offense. Trailing LSU by 10 is Ole Miss. Jones will take a knee, and we will take a very short break. What will the backup look like here in Oxford? Find out when we return. Thank you, Adnan. Saw a lot of guys going up high trying to hurdle defenders today. You know, the guys will also chime in. Jesse and Joey will talk about what happened at the end of Oklahoma State and Texas. So here is Jordan Ta'amu from Pearl City, Hawaii, by way of the JUCO ranks, in at quarterback for Ole Miss. And Sweeney has a big hole and a 1st down and a little more for the Rebels.
So one of the problems here, Joe, but that's a good 1st down play, is Ta'amu is a dual threat guy. He's a very capable runner, but with the status of Patterson unsure right now, I'm not sure they want to run their quarterback.
3 timeouts remain, a minute to play. He's going to show you that arm, and nearly complete to A.J. Brown.
Now, I was at practice on Thursday, and Ta'amu got a lot of reps. I mean, they run their 1st and 2nd team almost equal reps for most of practice. So he's very well versed in what they want to do offensively. He just has not. That was his 1st pass attempt in a game this whole season.
Fans got a little excited about what he was as a backup in their spring game, the Grove Bowl. Passed for 188 and a touchdown then. But this is a little different. Prime time against LSU, and Sweeney's up for it as it's another 1st down. Gain of 13. Clock stops with that moving of the chains.
Now, Ole Miss has 3 timeouts, and because they've had 2 successful runs in there at midfield, they may try to score here now.
Ta'amu in for Patterson, gets it complete. 1st down and more. Van Jefferson. 14-yard completion, his 1st as a Rebel. Ta'amu, and a timeout will be used here, Todd.
See, I think they were going to be very conservative with their backup quarterback. But after 2 run plays that were conservative plays, kind of a letdown by the LSU defense, Ole Miss now has a different philosophy of what they're going to do here at the end of the half. Now they're going to try to strike.
Want to remind you, you can kick off your Week 7 with Sunday NFL Countdown at 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN. Brady and Ryan, they're going to sit down, take a look back at the biggest comeback in Super Bowl history. You know, Patriots and Falcons going to have that rematch tomorrow, and Randy Moss is going to rank the best catches from today college football, and you got mossed. And Week 7 Monday Night Football, we got the big one in the NFC East. Redskins and Eagles. As Monday Night Countdown begins at 6 Eastern on ESPN. The Eagles got the best of the Skins back in Week 1 at FedEx Field, and now the second one here in Philly.
You know, for the first about 29 minutes of this first half, LSU has shut down the Ole Miss running game, and all of a sudden, a boost from Eric Sweeney, and Ole Miss in scoring range.
Ta'amu. This is where he can get to work. Batted and then falls down. He is dangerous with his legs, but he decided to throw it there, and it was deflected by Devin White.
Yeah, probably would have been better off running that one and then getting to the sideline and getting out of bounds to stop the clock. They still have 2 timeouts and 31 seconds left on the clock. A.J. Brown, their leading receiver, working at the bottom here on Tolliver.
Here is a designed quarterback run, and look at him go. Jordan Ta'amu, and smartly gets out just inside the 20, leaving 25 seconds in the half.
Good call by Phil Longo, offensive coordinator, playing to the strength of his young quarterback, and a good decision by Ta'amu to get out of bounds and not take an unnecessary hit.
As an Ole Miss player trying to run off the field there late. Number 2 timeouts remain. Looking for a throwback out of the backfield to the end zone. He goes. It was Sweeney who he was trying to find there. As the crowd wanted a flag, but instead it'll be 2nd and 10 with 18 seconds left.
Devin White, the leading tackler, stride for stride with Sweeney, and nice job on that play.
So Shea Patterson dealing with that right knee injury. Jordan Ta'amu took over at his own 25 with 1:17 left, and now the 8th play coming up.
Metcalf is the big receiver, a target in the red zone. Number 14 at the bottom of the screen.
Snap was off and low to the left. Ta'amu gets it and then guns it complete inside the 10. They're going to have to use a timeout here.
Yeah, he should have turned the other way and gotten out of bounds.
And that was Van Jefferson, the sophomore receiver.
The second timeout of the half. It'll be a 30-second timeout.
And there's no reason for him to turn back inside. The snap is hard and to the left. Nice job by Ta'amu, just fielding the snap, keeping his poise and delivering the football. 8 seconds, 1 timeout left. You got a chance to take a shot at the end zone. And again, the guy that you want to pay attention to, DK Metcalf, at 6'4", 225 pounds, the big-bodied receiver. And A.J. Brown will probably be in a slot formation as well. So far, Metcalf with 0 catches, but this is his area of the field to excel. Boy, how big would this be for Ole Miss with Patterson in the locker room if they could put one in the end zone here with their backup quarterback to end the first half.
Just the thought of the opportunity to come away with points considering the circumstances. To the end zone he goes. And it's incomplete. So there will be only 3 seconds remaining as he was looking for DeMarcus Lodge.
Well, still a chance to come away with points, which is important. Some momentum to take into the locker room. Down 1 score if you can convert here by Wonderlic.
Wonderlic has had an outstanding career. Back from injury, tweaked a hamstring. It's just a 26-yard attempt. And what a nicely managed final minute 17 by the young man from Pearl City, Hawaii. Jordan Te'alolo Te'amo Perifanos, his full name, the son of Billy and Luisa, helps them get the field goal. Let's go to the studio to Adnan. Well blocked, and Darrell Williams past midfield. It's a dash down the sideline. And here he goes. Darius Geis back healthy and revving the engine. Geis cuts back and spins his way in for the touchdown. College football primetime presented by Hampton by Hilton. LSU leads by 7. Coach O's return to Oxford. Remember they said, hey, what do you remember most about being the head coach? And he said, yeah, I remember the Chevron chicken on a stick from the gas station.
Yeah.
Well, looky here, Todd Blackledge, the actual chicken on a stick from the four-corner Chevron.
And they don't cheat you on the chicken. I mean, you can hardly see the stick. I mean, that is a lot of chicken.
That was his soundbite that got so much attention earlier this week. These are the stats, as I can use the chicken on a stick to point out the stats. And it's the rushing yards that the chicken on a stick is going to show, as Geis has been something.
Darius Geis has been outstanding. LSU has run the football, but to Ole Miss's credit, even though they have trouble stopping the run, they've been pretty good on third down, and they've been pretty good in the red zone. And that's why they're still in this football game in a one-possession game.
Why do I have a feeling you're going to broadcast better with chicken in your hand? Here's Holly moments ago.
Well, Coach Luke, Shea Patterson just ran past me with a knee brace on. What do you know about your quarterback's injury?
Yeah, we evaluated him at halftime. We're going to give him a shot, see how he does here to start the second half.
If he's not at full strength and can't play well, what does Jordan Ta'amu bring? He really drove you down the field in that last opportunity.
No, he's very athletic. He can do some things with his feet. I think we just got to be smart with him about not letting him sit in the pocket. We just got to do some things with running the ball and play action.
Thanks so much, Coach.
Thank you.
That was Ta'amu who brought them down for that field goal, as Patterson, star quarterback, was dealing with that right knee. So LSU to start things off here in the second half. And Etling will pass. And it goes to J.D. Moore, who is upended that time by Hartsfield.
Darius Geis got the key block, too. I mean, we've seen him run. When you talk about a competitor and a fighter, Darius Geis does a little bit of everything. Got the nice cut block. They gave a nice clean throwing lane to his quarterback on that play.
Your fingers greasy right now,
Yeah,
Blackledge?
they are. I'm trying to use your jacket, maybe. Or Chaz's shirt. I don't know. One or the other.
2nd and 6. Here's that jet motion. As Chark will reverse, and they will run Geis as he finds the hole and gets to the outside. Here goes Darius Geis. The big night continues.
Now take a look. Darius Geis a little slow getting up at the end of this. It's a counter again. They pull the guard. They lead with the tight end, John David Moore, and then a couple missed tackles. A.J. Moore had a chance to hit him at the line of scrimmage. Didn't wrap up Geis. And 48 yards later, Darius Geis starts the second half the way he played in the first half.
Something about the way Ken Webster took him down that had him limping off quickly to the sideline, as Williams now comes in as the featured back. And he will get inside the 20. So Geis over on the sidelines with 174 yards. Back up on his feet and having a little fun.
Right. Yeah.
He's got a little fight to him tonight, doesn't he?
He is a competitor. He loves to play. He plays hard. And he just feels good tonight. And it shows. He just has not felt like himself for most of this season.
Remember, he missed the game, the upset loss to Troy. Hasn't been at a 100% health until a good week of practice. And here's that overload to the near side.
Weathersby.
And they will run to the short side with Williams, who was upended that time as Zedrick Woods came charging in low.
In LSU, this offense, they're going to shift, they're going to motion, and they're going to mix inside runs with the jet sweep and try to outflank you as a defense. And Ole Miss, even though they've given up some yards, when they've gotten to this part of the field, they've been pretty good, and they've been good on third down.
Bringing in a whole lot of beef with Pettigrew and Carter, extra tight ends, and Williams at 230 in the backfield on 3rd and 2. And he's not going to get it. That was Jalen Jones darting in.
Jalen Jones not only does a good job of getting there, but watch when he gets there, he's going to also maintain leverage. He's not going to let the ball carrier get outside and bounce it. And he gets the tackle as well. That's excellent play by Jones.
So Connor Culp, who came up huge last week against Auburn, had the go-ahead 42-yarder with 2.5 minutes remaining. Looking to go 3 for 3 on his evening here in Oxford. And it is pure. And LSU pushes the lead to 10 to start the second half. Coach O's return. News for Rebels fans, that's Shea Patterson flanking offensive coordinator Phil Longo. As he came out here to get ready for the second half, you see that right knee left in the first half. Tiamu came in the backup and led him to a field goal drive, but going to be hard to keep Shea Patterson out of this rivalry game in prime time.
Oh, and the other good thing for Ole Miss, we've got word that Jordan Wilkins is going to try to give it a go here in the second half as well. Two very important parts of this Ole Miss offense.
Gamble's shorter kickoff will be returned by Jones. And Jalen Jones finds a crease all the way out to midfield. Jalen Jones, how about it?
They said he stepped out of bounds, though, Joe. They're waving him
back at the 32. What a return from Jalen Jones as Cameron Gamble, the kickoff specialist, had to take the angle.
I'm sure they'll take a look at it. They said he stepped out. He was trying to tightrope on the sideline. Poor discipline on the coverage by LSU. There's a missed angle by Kerry Vincent, number 15, and then the kicker has to try to get a piece of him. Does he step out? Right there. The right foot. There it is, right there. Good call. Perfect vision. Excellent return and good field position for Ole Miss, but that was a touchdown.
Jones had a 97-yard kickoff return touchdown earlier this year and is number 2 in the conference in kickoff returns.
It's one of those deals. If he could have kept his heel off the ground, his toes were inbounds, but the heel is what stepped down in the white, and that's why it came back. But what a great return and a way to start the first possession offensively for Ole Miss.
56-yard return based on where they're marking it. That is the longest allowed by LSU this season.
And remember, it started with a short kick. It was not a good kickoff, and Ole Miss took advantage of it.
And Gamble got under it a little too much rotation, and thus it was returnable for Jones.
And 20 and 22 in the backfield for Ole Miss.
Starting quarterback and starting running back return for the Rebs. Here is Wilkins, and he looks mighty fine. Jordan Wilkins, the senior, who had that rare 100-yard rushing game in that blowout loss against Alabama, and then came back against Vandy and had 113 a week ago. 2nd and 5.
A.J. Brown only 1 catch for 5 yards so far in the ball game.
Patterson directing traffic, wants every bit of it, and that's incomplete. But the athletic A.J. Brown went up and tried to make it a fight with Jackson and Delpit.
If it was just the cornerback, I think Brown comes down with this. But because Delpit, the safety, was able to come over and help, that's why they got the play. Delpit actually was able to help on the play and knock the ball loose.
Boy, Patterson was close to that line of scrimmage there, sending that play. 3rd and 5.
One thing I really like about Shea Patterson is he will throw the ball up and give his receivers a chance to make a catch in traffic. He doesn't have to see a guy wide open. He trusts his receivers to go up and make a play on the ball.
Dante Jackson, starting corner for LSU, was down. That gives us a chance to check in with Adnan. There is Penn State in our college football rankings, brought to you by Chick-fil-A, that lofty number 2 next to their name.
Oh, what a critical touchdown right before halftime for Penn State. Michigan fought their way back in the game after being down 14-0, and Penn State able to tack another one on right before they go to the locker room.
There's Dante Jackson. He was slow to get up at the end of that last play. So he will be off the field here on 3rd and 5.
Ole Miss only 1 of 6 in the ball game on 3rd down so far.
Wilkins, patient, wasn't he? And then look at him push Devin White ahead for a 1st down. I mean, he was using Devin White like he was a blocking sled.
Really nice job on the counter play. Dawson Knox, the tight end, was the guy leading up on that play. Kind of a rare running play on 3rd down for Ole Miss. Watch Dawson Knox get right up in here and lead the play. And you mentioned the patience of Wilkins, allowing that block to happen and then sitting in right behind it and picking up the 1st down.
And Dante Jackson back out on the field playing corner for LSU here. It's a 1st down for Ole Miss.
They left early.
Yep.
Van Jefferson, number 12, left early on that play.
Before the snap, false start. Offense number 12. 5-yard penalty. Still 1st down.
Ole Miss needs to capitalize on this momentum here. They got the good kickoff return. They got their quarterback and their tailback back in the game. The crowd is getting back into the game. Got to find a way to get this ball in the end zone.
Patterson to the end zone he goes. Batted away at the last second by Greedy Williams, who says no, no, no.
He's their best cover guy, even though he's young. I mean, Greedy Williams is only a redshirt freshman, but he plays like a senior. He's not fooled by the hesitation. He's stride for stride with Lodge. When Lodge looks for the ball, he makes a play on the ball.
You know, Shea Patterson knows a little something about Greedy Williams, right, Todd?
Yeah.
Right there at Calvary Baptist, where they were high school teammates for a few years in Shreveport.
Won a couple state championships together.
Second and 15. On the ground again with Wilkins. Good hard running. You know, Patterson finished up his prep days at IMG, but started things off in Shreveport, Louisiana, next to that guy.
Yeah. Gotta be cool going at each other here tonight. Both competitors, both play with a little bit of swagger, a lot of swagger. Again, when you play as much man coverage as LSU does, you got to have supreme confidence. And Greedy Williams has it.
3rd and 6. And this time just a gain of 2 by Wilkins, tackled by White.
Tried to go with the counter again. That time, good penetration by Locature. Got into the backfield and forced that one to come up short.
So here is Wunderlich back out there. 39-yard attempt this time.
Make here and you keep it a 1-possession game. You stay right in striking distance.
Kickers doing their job tonight. And striking distance indeed. Back to a touchdown margin here in Oxford.
ESPN College Football, brought to you by the 2017 Lincoln NKX and Chick-fil-A. Start game day strong with the new breakfast hash brown scramble bowl.
Well, it is universally accepted as the premier tailgating spot in all of college football, and they always bring their A game at the Grove. Gary Wunderlich is 3 for 3 kicking tonight. 9 points on the board for Ole Miss. As Luke Logan will kick away. Edwards-Helaire on the return. Let's go to the studio to Adnan. Hill with a couple of touchdown passes already for TCU. Fourth-ranked team in the country is TCU.
LSU with their
Game clock to 9:22. 9:22.
second offensive possession of the third quarter. They've had 17 first down plays, Joe. They've run the ball 15 of those. One of the pass plays they called, the quarterback, Danny Etling, pulled it down and ran with it. In a very run-heavy game so far against this Ole Miss defense.
That's Geis in motion, as Geis will turn the corner, and Geis will get ahead for 11.5 yards.
And this combination of having he and Darrell Williams in the game at the same time has been really effective. Good timing. The line shows like the run is going to the right. They give it back to Geis to the left, and he finds a seam and turns it upfield. A little deception by the offensive line, and good timing by Darius Geis.
Williams out of the backfield with a good block out in front for Morrow. 11-yard reception for Darrell Williams.
You know, LSU has not completed a pass to a wide receiver tonight. Every completion has been to a running back or a tight end. Short, easy pass right there for Danny Etling, but effective. Unbalanced line.
It was all about the star wide receiver, DJ Chark. And here is Chark in motion, as Geis will get the call again, and his night is turning into a spectacular evening. Darius Geis over 200 yards rushing tonight.
Counter again. They're going to pull the backside guard and the tight end, and Darius Geis is just going to see it. Watch the vision. He follows the blocks for a minute, and then he cuts inside. And then good blocking downfield also. 33 yards for Darius Geis on that one.
218 on the night for Geis.
Again, Leonard Fournette last year in this game, 284 yards. Geis closing in on that.
Williams, as he spins his way just inside the 20. Speaks was able to find him.
This LSU offensive line has been banged up. They've lost some guys. They're playing without their starting left tackle tonight, KJ Malone, for the second game in a row. Starting a true freshman at left tackle, a true freshman at right guard. Toby Weathersby back at right tackle after missing a week ago. Pushing the pile today.
Williams on the short toss, as he will have another LSU first down. It'll be 1st and goal, Tigers. Let's go to Holly.
Well, guys, keep your eye on the two safeties for Ole Miss. They've had to be in there for almost every play. Jalen Jones, number 36, Cedric Woods, who just made that tackle. Their key backup and a part-time starter, C.J. Moore, was injured in pregame warmups, a calf injury, so he's on the sideline. So I see these guys starting to fatigue down the stretch as LSU continues to really run right at them.
That's a good point, Holly. C.J. Moore is a guy who rotates in often. 1st and goal. Let's see how they hold up with the short field now. Jet motion, Gage. Can he turn the corner to the 5-yard line, as he was waiting for a block from Foster Morrow?
They're just so much more efficient with their motion and the timing as Gage gets up hobbling at the end of that play.
That's DeMarcus Gates, who is still down for Ole Miss.
It's their leading tackler, really the leader of their defense.
2 years in a row he has led the Rebels defense in tackles, and you can see Gage is pointing to his right leg.
Gage had a 70-yard run last week, a huge play on this same jet sweep. Just kind of landed awkwardly on that right leg.
You can see he's really favoring that. We will check on both of these young men when we come back. Allstate is proud to be part of the team that comes together to do good by contributing to participating universities' general scholarship funds for each field goal and extra point kick. And to date, All-State has contributed millions in those scholarship funds. The kickers tonight are both 3 for 3 to add to that total. Well, that's not a good look for Russell Gage. Senior receiver was brought into the medical tent just moments ago.
We got to believe this ball's got to go to number 5, right? Darius Geis, he's carried it 14 times tonight. He has not been stopped for 0 or negative yardage one time. 218 yards.
Etling. He's going to tuck, run, dive, and score. Danny Etling with his first rushing touchdown of the season.
Just another good decision. Headsy play by the senior transfer. He's going to roll out here, and there's going to be 2 receivers, but neither one of them are going to be open. They're both covered well by Ole Miss, the 2 tight ends. He makes the right decision, then he gets low underneath the tackler and gets it in the end zone. Not known as a runner, but that was a good, tough run for the touchdown.
And a good, smart decision.
Yep.
Which is what Etling has been doing well for Coach O in recent weeks. Managed that game against Florida. Had a key role in the second half comeback against Auburn. And now another well-managed, smart drive where they could lean on the running game. And the Tigers have a little roar to them all of a sudden mid-season in SEC play, don't they? Number 24, LSU on top here in Oxford.
Billy Cannon watches it bounce. He takes it on his own 11. He comes back upfield at the 15, stumbles momentarily. He's at the 20, running hard at the 25, gets away from one man at the 30, still running at the 25, at the 35, to 45. He's down to 50, he's in the 50, 45, to 40. 10 to 5, he scored!
$1959, Billy Cannon, the Heisman winners. Run here in the Magnolia Bowl, one of the most famous moments in college football history. 23-9 in tonight's edition of this long-standing rivalry. Jones had a good return earlier. Had a trouble time fielding this one, but still a nice effort by Jalen Jones. Let's check in with Adnan. Feel like every single week in recent weeks you watch Arizona highlights, you stay up late for a little college football final with Joey, Jesse, and Adnan, and you will be wowed by the speed of Khalil Tate. He's got 126 rushing yards tonight against Cal. Quick pass, A.J. Brown, and a first down for the Rebels. Holly.
Well, you guys talked about that famous Halloween game won by the Tigers back in the day. Well, these helmets that Ole Miss is wearing tonight are a throwback. These are the same model of helmets or type of helmets that they wore during their most successful time in school history. 1959 to 1968, they won a share of 3 national titles.
Patterson off the fingertips of Metcalf. And Holly, you know that means a lot to the interim head coach Matt Luke, because his father played during that era when these helmets were in style. And he says, listen, when I was growing up, we had that very helmet up on a shelf.
We saw it yesterday.
Yeah, right near the TV. Yeah. So he grew up staring down at that Ole Miss classic helmet. 2nd and 10. Patterson couldn't get it to Jefferson, but a flag comes in there with the contact of Kevin Tolliver on coverage.
Again, they're going to challenge you with man coverage all night. Tolliver made a beautiful play down the sideline. That time had his arm draped around Jefferson and drew the flag.
Pass interference, defense number 2. Ball in place in the spot of the foul, automatic first down.
You know, Joe, one other thing about that 1959 game, that Ole Miss team only gave up 21 points the whole season. They actually played LSU again and beat them 21-0 in the Sugar Bowl. And most people don't remember that. They remember the Billy Cannon run and the loss. They don't remember how great of a year that was for the Rebels.
Patterson downfield, but just beyond DeMarcus Lodge.
They've had a couple opportunities for this. Again, you're going to get these chances for one-on-one matchups. This ball a little bit overthrown. Lodge just not able to bring it in. He had one earlier that he should have caught. That one would have been a great catch if he would have been able to snag it.
2nd and 10. Patterson just slings it sideways to Dawson Knox. So the big plays tonight haven't been there for Ole Miss. They've taken those shots.
They've had some opportunities. You know, they just have not connected on it.
3rd and 5. And A.J. Brown a little too high for him.
Yeah, that's not a good throw by Shea Patterson. He's drifting. His body's drifting to the left. He's not setting his feet. And that ball sailed on him.
And here in no man's land, facing a 4th and 5 and trailing 23-9. Offense, of course, will stay on the field.
I think you got to look for the slant to A.J. Brown right here in the 3rd man in the slot. It's a strong receiver. Get him the ball quickly, right about the marker.
4th and 5, trying to stay alive. Caught for a first down to 6'4" Dawson Knox.
They had both guys running inside routes. Brown ran an inside route, and Knox ran a little route. A spin back to the inside, and Patterson hit him for the first down.
Important drive here for Ole Miss. Under 4.5 minutes to play in the 3rd quarter. Wilkins waiting and then finding something, and here he goes. Jordan Wilkins. 28-yard touchdown. And 4th and 5 gave them life. And then Jordan Wilkins gave them a thrill. All States, all hands in play.
Counter play again. They're going to pull the backside guard, Patterson. They're going to lead with the tight end. And this some shoddy tackling by LSU as well. Wilkins kind of sits in there, pokes and pecks, tries to find some room, and nobody wraps him up. And he stays with it and bounces it out the backside for another touchdown. Jordan Wilkins running strong and breaking through would-be tacklers.
And this is a young man that, give him credit for the leadership role he has played in the course of this year with this team. When the bowl ban was announced, he was very vocal, wrote a very long and supportive Facebook post saying, "We are honored to wear this uniform for 12 games." And many, like Jordan, talked about this game. You know about the self-imposed bowl ban, but this game being one of the big moments.
Yeah, this is a bowl game for them. It is. And then, of course, the Egg Bowl at the end of the year. I mean, that's how they're treating the rest of their season. Every game from here on out is like a bowl game.
Sunday NFL Countdown is going to get started 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN to get Week 7 of your NFL. Tom Brady and Matt Ryan, the rematch is set. They sat down to talk about the biggest comeback in Super Bowl history. And Randy Moss, of course, will rank the best catches in You Got Moss. Then Monday Night Football, the Skins and the Eagles. Monday Night Countdown will begin at 6 Eastern. Carson Wentz is playing superb right now as the Eagles will try to sweep the Skins on Monday night. I'm actually going to be headed to that game, Blackledge, as a fan. A rare day to be a fan and just take in some ball. Here's Williams out of the backfield with a lot of green grass ahead of them. Good block from DJ Chark downfield.
Well, the linebackers.
Late flag here, back at the 27.
Linebackers locked into Darius Geis. This looks like it's going to go against LSU and negate a very positive play. No, wait a minute. See what we got.
Matt Austin and the crew talking things over.
Morrow signaling that it's a personal foul.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 38 of the defense. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Marquise Haynes.
When was it? During the run or after the?
It was a positive play to begin with, and then a costly penalty on Marquise Haynes. Boy, it must have happened at the end of the play, because the play was a good game after the play. Wow.
Look at that Marchette ball
costly.
Right past midfield. Just when Ole Miss had such a swing of momentum. And LSU now setting up shop at the 42. And then there's this guy, Darius Geis, who's had himself such a stellar evening, over 200 yards rushing tonight.
They're just running right at this Ole Miss defense. You know, coming into the game, most of their best runs have come on the jet sweep. They have not run in between the tackles that successfully. But tonight, the inside running game has been powerful for LSU.
Sadiq Charles in motion, the big left tackle, start on the right side, then came back to the left tackle position. As Geis gets the call on 2nd and 5 and add to it. Darius Geis having a huge night in Oxford. 26 more yards.
Well, watch the right guard and the right tackle. 70 and 66 just paving the way. DJ Chark getting a little block downfield, as is Drake Davis, number 14. 16 carries now, 249 yards for Darius Geis.
Remember last year, he set the single game record at 285 yards against A&M, had 252 against Arkansas. There are only 4 SEC players to have 2 games over 250 yards. You want to know their names? Bo and Herschel. And then you got this guy, Geis. As right now, J.D. Moore takes it home.
They just got it all going right now. They fake the jet sweep to Gage, and they go shovel pass. You got to worry about him. You got to worry about him. And then you lose track of the tight end on the shovel pass. Just a nice mixture of offensive weapons and deception by Matt Canada, the offensive coordinator, and the LSU offense.
John David Moore on the shovel pass, but this is the guy that set it up. Geis told you pregame. He's feeling it. Boy, is he. 249 yards. Still 2.5 minutes to play in the third. I mean, that is something to think of. Only 4 SEC players with a couple of games over 250, and Bo and Herschel being on that list. And now he's a yard away from having 3 games in his career in excess of 250 yards rushing.
And again, just thinking about how tough the yards have come for him up to this point, through every game to this point of the season, averaging only a little over 4 yards per carry coming into tonight. Not able to get over 100 yards, and then tonight just exploding against this Ole Miss defense. LSU has had 8 offensive possessions. They've scored on 6 of them. 3 and 3. 3 touchdowns, 3 field goals. Their offense has been improving steadily since the disappointing loss to Troy. Only 6 turnovers for this LSU offense, and 4 of them came in that loss to Troy. They've taken care of the football. They've reduced their penalty problem, and they are operating much more efficiently, and their best player is 100% healthy now.
Back to a 14-point lead. Jones from the 3-yard line. And of course, Darius Geis has overcome so much adversity in life, including the heartache when he was just 5 years old.
I run like I got something to prove, and I do. My dad died when I was 5. My mom turns on the news channel, and all we see is a bloody corpse. Next thing you know, I see my dad 5 days later in the casket. I promise I'm gonna play football and I'm gonna be at LSU one day. Those, were some of the last words that I remember myself telling him. People out the ghetto can make it out the ghetto. When I'm running, I'm running for better days for them.
Well, he runs with violence, he runs with anger, he runs with a chip on his shoulder, and now he's running with fresh legs. This was before the game. He was excited to go tonight because he felt better than he's felt all year with the knee. I mean, it's hard to not be affected by that kind of enthusiasm and that kind of emotion from your best player.
Now Patterson and the Rebels trying to climb out of the hole, and here is Dawson Knox. Boy, has he emerged. 40-yard reception.
This is a perfect throw. The safety, Grant Delpit, went for the deflection and missed. And Dawson Knox was able to turn it into a bigger game. Beautiful throw by Patterson.
And right to the line to snap again. Patterson couldn't find Brown on the slant.
Shea Patterson is still favoring that right leg. That's his plant leg. Even though he has the brace on, you can see that he's still a little bit tentative with it and not stepping into some of the throws. The throw before that was an excellent throw, but you can tell it's still bugging him a little bit.
Second down throw. That was off the mark as he was looking Lodge's way.
It's a big part of their offense. They fake that run. It's a RPO. The line is blocking run. Marcus Lodge looked like he wasn't sure the ball was coming to him. He kind of ducked instead of putting his hands up.
LSU looks over to Phil Longo here on 3rd and 10.
LSU's done a really good job on A.J. Brown, the leading receiver in the SEC coming into tonight.
Pick up the pressure. It's intercepted by John Battle. Tip ball. Battle with a good return down the sideline as they will mark him down. And there's a flag down at the 23.
See, I think this is Shea Patterson not trusting his right knee and not stepping into the throw. The ball sailed on him high. It went off the hands of his receiver. And John Battle was there to collect it for the interception.
Second interception for Patterson tonight. Sean Rawlings, starting center, slow to get up. He was injured earlier this season. And Matt Austin and the guys will clean things up. We got a couple of flags.
Well, they were
down back at the 22.
The flags came out during the return after the interception. Not sure what the penalty was, but again, Shea Patterson, who still is kind of limping, did not step into that throw well. The ball took off on him. It went off the fingertips of Lodge. And John Battle with the interception. The second interception of the night for Shea Patterson.
And there is Tamo, who led them on a field goal drive when Patterson left the game in the second quarter.
We have multiple fouls on the play. During the return, holding number 40 of the receiving team. That's a 10-yard penalty will be enforced from the end of from the spot of the foul. Following the play, dead ball, personal foul, number 40 of the return team. Dead ball, personal foul, 24 of the original offense. Those fouls offset, be first down LSU.
Well, here's a look at the interception. Here's Lodge. He's going to run a little slant route, and he's open right here, but the ball's going to sail high. Goes off his fingers. John Battle playing deep safety right there to collect it. Shea Patterson, normally a very accurate thrower, but he doesn't look like he trusts that knee right now on a throw like that.
Not the typical stat line for a Shea Patterson game. 100 yards, 2 interceptions, 9 of 21, no touchdown passes. He's trying to gut it out on that hurt leg. And back to Geis. And with that, over 250 yards rushing. Holly?
Well, LSU's new defensive coordinator the last 2 seasons, Dave Aranda, has been very impressive to us. And I just witnessed a moment that I really enjoyed. You know, Devin White, who's such a great player, great linebacker for this LSU team, gets called for that personal foul. And Aranda, instead of yelling at him, getting his face or anything, he's like, what happened? Devin stood up, explained what happened, showed him what he did for the personal foul. He's like, all right, we're good. Very calm, very student-like over here. I just really enjoy his demeanor interacting with these young men.
Went to Cal Lutheran, was a philosophy major. Has a very different approach to coaching football.
2nd and 5. And Geis gets free one more time. He could be playing a 4th quarter with history on the line if this total keeps heading this way. He's at 268, the SEC single game record. 2 players are tied at 321, including Darren McFadden most recently.
Boy, credit this LSU offensive line too. They are really pushing the pile. That time a great double team by Ed Ingram, the guard, and Will Clapp, the center. Big hole for Darius Geis.
And now Williams searching for something as he gets 3 yards on that play. Gates with the tackle.
Should be the last play of the 3rd quarter. LSU is going to try to grind this thing out now with this running game. Up to 324 yards rushing. Right in line with what Alabama and Auburn did to this Ole Miss defense with their power running of the football.
End of 3. Geis is averaging 14.9 yards per rush. He's at 268, and his Tigers have a 2-touchdown lead here at Oxford. Glad you're with us watching the SEC on ESPN. Joe Tessitore, Todd Blackledge, Holly Rowe, and the K crew with you here as number 24 LSU is up 2 touchdowns on Ole Miss to start this 4th quarter. The home team has won the last 5 games in this series, but LSU is running the ball with ease tonight.
Yeah, they really don't need to pass very much at all at this point.
Darius Geis has made history tonight. First player in SEC history to have 3 games over 250 yards rushing. And look at that list. Herschel, Mo, and Bo. And Mo Williams thrilled to see himself up there. He had a nice career at Kentucky. Those are the guys with 2 250 games. But only that man in the grand history of the SEC has rushed over 250 3 times. 271 as he checks out on 3rd and 4. There was some confusion that time with Gage and Sullivan as it goes incomplete.
They tripped each other up. Gage was the intended receiver. He was tripped up by Sullivan. And LSU will have to punt the football. Remember, we talked about this in the beginning of the show. The last 2 games in the wins over Florida and Auburn, the LSU defense has been suffocating, has not allowed a point, has allowed under 100 yards, and only 3 first downs.
The substitution, number 24 of the kicking team, 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
So Zach Von Rosenberg, 6'5", 27-year-old redshirt freshman, because he was a former first-round draft pick into Major League Baseball, spent time in the minors, and then made his way to LSU to play some football. And here is the punt from Von Rosenberg. As Brown gets the fair catch at the 22. Can Ole Miss find a little something? That guy could help on offense. We've been talking about Penn State, one aspect of them recently.
Yeah, well, everybody talks about their offense and Saquon Barkley, Trace McSorley, but their defense has played outstanding this year. This is a stat graphic that we've been looking at a lot this year. The stop rate of teams, how many possessions against that defense that end in a punt, a turnover, or a turnover on downs, and Penn State tops that list right now with the best percentage in college football.
And sacked this time by Arden Key. He has 19.5 career sacks. I love that stop rate stat. I think it's a great way to analyze the modern day of this game.
The LSU right now thinking pass all the way. Arden Key waited to see what Patterson was going to do, how he was going to try to flush, and then use that speed to track him down.
Look what LSU has done in the 4th quarter defensively against Florida and Auburn. They are closing out games the right way. 2nd and 18. Here he comes again, but Patterson gets rid of it and gets it complete. And out to DK Metcalf. It'll be 3rd down from there at about the 28. Holly?
Well, Arden Key being a little more active on this drive. Todd referenced his weight loss earlier. It has been a journey. In about 4 weeks, he's lost almost 20 pounds. I talked with their team nutritionist, Lauren Reagan. She said we would walk through the line together and do his plate together. Now he just does the plate on his own. Is this okay if I'm eating this? She shakes her head yes. She said he totally understands and gets it. You cannot relax for a second or your body composition will change. But 20 pounds in 4 weeks. I got her number for all of us. I know Todd's eaten about 17,000 calories here in Oxford.
Yeah, no chicken on a stick for Arden Key. What a hit that time. Grant Delpit filling that hole.
Boy, did he come up quickly from the safety position. Here he is right here. He's going to read this play and meet it right in the hole. Quick read by the freshman safety for no gain. And Ole Miss will have to punt the football. Grant Delpit has an interception. He's a guy that gets better and better. One of the youngsters playing on this LSU defense gets better as each game goes by.
I think that series right there is a good example of why LSU has had recent success. Key and Delpit defensively playing with purpose. Chark backed up, and then good job with the coverage unit. D.D. Bowie with a special teams tackle.
ESPN College Football is presented by Hampton by Hilton. Book a room today and follow your team all the way. And in part by Taco Bell's new crispy chicken quesadilla, a deliciously unexpected pairing.
Taco Bell is a proud partner of the College Football Playoff. We're always on the lookout for the Taco Bell student sections, and boy, they have a real good student section here in Oxford. Vaught Hemingway Stadium. Quite a scene in prime time in this rivalry game, the Magnolia Bowl. Danny Etling and company trying to manage this 4th quarter with a 2-touchdown lead. That guy flanking him to the left has been spectacular. Here's Williams out of the backfield. This has worked plenty tonight. A stiff arm and a 1st down.
Well, it's worked so well because you've got to respect Darius Geis wherever he goes. And it's an easy throw for the quarterback. No risk involved.
4 receptions for 105 yards for Darrell Williams.
Danny Etling, 8 for 12. Just kind of managing the game and making good decisions. And at this point, managing the clock as well.
Jet motion here as Dillon will ride it out of bounds.
We're talking here about Darius Geis and him closing in on records and breaking records. I just got a text from a buddy of mine watching the game and listening and said that as good as his night is, there was a high school player in Texas last night from McKinney, Texas, a running back, Matt Gaddick, who set a single game rushing record, 599 yards in a win over Plano East last night.
Wow.
That's unbelievable.
Here's the guy that's been unbelievable in college football tonight. Geis for 2 more to his total. 599 yards, a Texas high school football player last night. That final score was 63-50.
Yep.
He had 357 in the first half. Matt Gaddick, 49 carries to get it. That's what's so impressive about Geis tonight. 20 carries, averaging 13.7 to arrive at 273. Etling just floating it to Foster Morrow. And look at the big guy go. Run, Foster, run. Ha ha. Tigers are roaring in Oxford, aren't they? The big guy out of Jesuit High down in New Orleans.
Ole Miss was completely selling out for the run on that third down play. There was nobody left in the secondary. All Danny Etling had to do was get the football to Morrow.
A lot of purple and gold going to be partying in the square. Etling's having himself a really nice balanced night. And LSU looks so different. This is not the team that we saw in Starkville, or stumbling and fumbling against Troy. This is a whole different kind of LSU team. Foster Morrow got a lot of family and friends back in Montgomery, Alabama as well, who are cheering this on. Big time tonight. Danny Etling helping out Coach O's return to Oxford. 2 touchdown passes on the night for the Tigers quarterback.
It's an amazing turnaround for this LSU team after we saw them against Mississippi State, after the heartbreaking, devastating loss at home to Troy. What a turnaround.
And of course, last week, the big comeback against Auburn as Jones chooses to take this out. And he picks up a block on the edge. And it was a good decision by Jalen Jones. Let's go to the studio to Adnan. So Davis has a touchdown pass tonight and Stidham doesn't. Big time play from Auburn. Of course, last week they had the 20-zip lead against this LSU team. Look at that graphic, Todd. Darius Geis has 282 yards to this point. Ole Miss has 282 yards to this point. Arms folded, just chilling, making history.
Last year, Leonard Fournette dominated the game with 284, and Geis is doing it this year.
Great effort on the ball, coming away with it somehow was Tolliver. That is an incredible interception. Kevin Tolliver took it away. Patterson's shaking his head in disbelief. He thought Metcalf had it. Tolliver ended up with it.
Well, Tolliver is the biggest cornerback that LSU has at 6'3", 204 pounds. Working against the biggest receiver. Metcalf has this, and Tolliver just took it away. Did he get a foot in bounds, though? That's the question. Metcalf had it. Tolliver took it. What a play by Kevin Tolliver.
Ripping it out of Metcalf's arms.
Looks like he had the right foot down when he had the football as well.
Ruling on the field is that it is an interception, that Tolliver secured that ball.
And again, this LSU defense in the fourth quarter pitching another shutout for the 3rd week in a row.
6'3" Kevin Tolliver. Watch the end of this play. Let's bring in Bill Lamagna, our rules expert. Bill, do you see him juggling the ball in that transition at all when the foot was down?
No, I see a firm grip. He went left hand, firm grip, right hand, foot was in bounds. It's a heck of an athletic play. Good, well officiated too.
Sure was. Geis with just a yard that time as Speaks was able to make the tackle. Yeah, they are flying high, aren't they? It's a different team.
What a difference
the roller coaster ride of the
Darius
season
Geis makes too. I mean, you know, he is a difference maker, and then when he's 100%, they are a different football team on the offensive side.
It makes you wonder what happened prior to that game at Florida, Holly.
Well, you know, the team MVP from last season, Duke Riley, who's currently a linebacker for the Atlanta Falcons, he came to practice and he was there for a few hours and he was quiet and watching and observing the team. And at the end of practice for 10 minutes, just he and the group, he got together, and what he said has impacted this team tremendously. I reached out to Duke this week, and his response was, to be honest, I want what was said to stay between me and the team. He has so much love for everyone in that building. What I said, I want to just be between the people who heard it. But the players have said what he said is they weren't doing things right. More in a moment.
3rd and 7. Etling. Flag is down as Etling was able to drive ahead. We'll check on the flag. Holly?
And some of those things were how they were going about their daily business, what they were doing at meals, how they were interacting with each other, how they were talking to each other, the level of effort that they were doing at practice. The players on the team said he corrected many little things that we were doing.
Before the defense. 15-yard penalty for the end of the run, automatic first down.
Without the proper and passion, energy, and discipline. This is a very different team, and Ed Orgeron told us, I really credit Duke Riley, how he talked to the team and what he said got these kids' attention. He was their MVP.
Orgeron said the turnaround, the true turnaround for this football team. And I think the message is a little different when it comes from a peer and a guy who you respect and you were just with out on the field, such as the case with Duke Riley.
We may not see Darius Geis again. The last time he ran the ball, he took himself out of the game. He was a little bit ginger on the sidelines. It might be Darrell Williams the rest of the way.
There's nothing wrong with that if you're an LSU supporter.
Again, he's been bothered by a knee injury. He jumps. And after this play, he kind of got up and took himself out of the game. But what a spectacular football game he has played tonight.
One of the best games that we've seen in quite a while in SEC history. 12.5 yards per carry.
And really, there's no reason for him to come back in the game. I mean, it's a 21-point game. Ole Miss is having a difficult time stopping the run, period.
2nd and 3, and that'll move the chains with Williams.
And for LSU, if they hold on here with the momentum that they're gaining, they go into their next game, which is the biggest game on their schedule. They've got a bye week next week, and then it's to Tuscaloosa to play Alabama. They control their own destiny, but they have not beaten Alabama for the last 6 times out. And they've got to beat them on the field, and they've got to beat them in recruiting. And Alabama has recruited the state of Louisiana extremely well the last couple years. So a huge game for a lot of reasons for Ed Orgeron and the LSU Tigers.
Quarterback and fullback meeting up together, and then finally he gets it to Williams. That wasn't the prettiest thing. You mentioned the open date. It's the 4th straight year that both LSU and Alabama have that open week prior to their showdown.
Alabama signed 3 of the top prospects in the state of Louisiana a year ago. And Ed Orgeron says there's a couple great high school classes in Louisiana this year and particularly next year. We've got to beat them in recruiting, but we got to beat them on the field. And they have not done that the last 6 attempts.
Nobody knows the ins and outs of recruiting better than Coach O. He was the recruiting coordinator on Les Miles' staff. Let's check in with Holly as to what's going on with Darius Geis.
Well, Darius Geis got his left hand stepped on after that play. He came to the sideline. They've taken off his glove and taken off some of the tape that was around his fingers. He's put his glove back on, and he is raring to go. This young man is wanting to play in this game despite the score right now, and he's got his helmet on ready to rock back out there with his teammates.
He's sitting on 276 yards rushing and a 21-point margin.
Look at that yard per carry.
That's what keeps getting my
amazing.
attention. For most of the night, it was hovering near 15.
And again, coming into the game, only 4.3 yards per carry.
Unsportsmanlike conduct, offense number 14. It's a 15-yard penalty from the dead ball spot. Third down. That's number 14's first unsportsmanlike conduct penalty of the game.
They're tagging Drake Davis with that. Looked like it was DJ Chark who they were pushing off the field at the end of that play. So that'll back things up. But to your point on Geis, I mean, the yards per carry and what he's been able to do with all the big touches, and first player in SEC history to now have 3 games in his career over 250 yards rushing.
You know, I spent a nice amount of time on the field with Matt Canada early before the game, and he was so excited to see what Darius Geis was going to look like, because in the spring there was a healthy Darius Geis and a healthy Darrell Williams, and they really liked what they were going to be able to do with the two of them. And they just haven't had that much this year. And then the offensive line issues and injuries that they've had. But tonight, credit Geis and Williams and this offensive line.
And Williams shakes free. And once again, LSU running with ease. You know, in Geis's night as well, with those 22 attempts to get to 276, wasn't stopped for no gain or a loss the whole night. Everything was a positive play.
Yeah. Right now, LSU is closing in on 400 yards rushing.
575 total yards. Connor Culp has had a good evening as well. This will be a 47-yard attempt. It was only a few weeks ago that Coach O was complaining, hey, we don't have a place kicker. We're going to have to recruit one.
He said 42 was probably his range.
Well,
no
guess
problem.
what? They got themselves a place kicker.
Yes, they do.
Connor Culp. Every little bit helps. Connor Culp.
Bryce Love breaks tackles and a record-setting run. Greatest single rush game in the history of Stanford football.
On a night when we're celebrating the great work of Geis and what he's done here on the ground, a reminder that Bryce Love, sensational back for Stanford. Bye week this week because they're getting ready to play on ESPN at Oregon State on Thursday night. His numbers, you look at the 50-plus yard runs. And Geis, of course, with 276 tonight. Love is tracking second right now in our Heismanology polling. For those top 3, Barkley, Love, and Mayfield are sensational. Here is Jones, another good return from Jalen Jones. Adnan, what's up? And as you know, every week we poll the official Heisman voters at ESPN, and it is overwhelming. Forget Rudolph for a second. There is a huge gap between number 3 and number 4. Those 3 are acquiring 90+% of the votes. Yeah. Barkley first, Love second, Mayfield third, and Mayfield had a huge day today as well. Tiamu back in the game, the backup quarterback, as Patterson has been dealing with that injury all night long. Here's DeMarcus Lodge shaking free.
You know, when you look at and talk about those 3 guys, Joe, Saquon Barkley is far behind Bryce Love in terms of rushing yards per game, but his versatility this season as a returner and, as we just saw, a receiver catching a big touchdown pass, making big plays in big moments. Both Mayfield and Saquon did that today.
Complete here to Brown. I'll say something else. You just know when you watch a Heisman campaign, that it factor, that magical little something when everything is coming together for a certain player. Barkley has that. He has that, Todd.
And, you know, Darius Geis, coming into this season, he was in that conversation along with Saquon Barkley and Bryce Love, but the injury has not allowed him to play until tonight the way he was capable of.
A.J. Brown, who leads the SEC, is fourth nationally in receiving yards with the catch.
Nice throw that time by Ta'amu.
You know what I love about the way that the race is shaping up is you got the big games for all the candidates, right? You got one tonight happening with Penn State, and you got more to come for the other two guys. Ta'amu couldn't shake free that time of Lockature.
Lockature has been just steady for this LSU defense. Wearing that special number 18. They've got two of them, one on offense, one on defense this year.
There is Penniman, just a gain of 2.
LSU trying to maintain this streak of shutouts in the fourth quarter. Held Florida scoreless, held Auburn scoreless, and trying to do the same thing here to Ole Miss. Dave Aranda, the defensive coordinator.
Two very strong coordinators that Coach O went out and secured to his staff. You got to think about how much this means also to Ed Orgeron. His 3 years at Ole Miss were an abject failure, fired after going 10-25, 3-21 in SEC play, and he's returned as a much more mature and thoroughly evolved head coach. And he said, listen, as Sanders tries to get the first down and does, and we talked to him about it, he says, listen, I expected everybody to coach the way I coach. A little overly intense.
And he was a defensive line
That's
coach.
Right.
That's how he wanted everybody to coach. And the other thing he's learned is how to delegate. And you can see that in how he's allowed his coordinators to do their job.
Ta'amu, as we get extended look of Jordan Ta'amu, the junior JUCO transfer from Pearl City, Hawaii.
He's a nice looking athlete now. I mean,
he sure is.
He's a good dual threat guy. Looks good throwing the football too.
Ole Miss trying to finish up strong here, and Penniman will score the touchdown. 1:51 to play. And a solid backup to Wilkins this year. Sophomore from Houston, Texas.
Penniman, the most physical of their running backs at 240 pounds. Normally their goal line running back, and that time gets it into the end zone. Ole Miss going to go for 2, and then I'm assuming we'll go for the onside kick as well.
Trying to make this 16-point game. Max out the 2 possession range as they shift both tight ends. Ta'amu. Caught and scored. Dawson Knox the 2-point conversion, so that gets it to 16.
Oh, what a nice play by Ta'amu. He just kind of flicked that thing. He bought some time as he was rolling to his right and just kind of flicked it.
I think he's got some nice physical gifts, Todd.
He certainly does.
The ability to run, showed us a good arm. Good looking athlete backing up Shea Patterson. Patterson was never quite the same, and you can see him still limping. Well, still more college football ahead, and then it'll be Sports Center at night. Of course, they're going to wrap up the day of college football, and Kirk Herbstreit will offer up his top 4 teams, break down the college football playoff race, and Ben Simmons' week in the NBA. Linda Cohn, Stan Barrett. Sports Center at night, also available on the ESPN app. That's what they play for. Magnolia Bowl trophy. They've been playing for the trophy since 2008. They've been playing the rivalry series since 1894, but now they got the hardware to hand out in the past decade. And that guy is a big reason why LSU is closing in on it. So here comes the onside kick attempt. Look for the double bounce. Never got it. And into the hands of Chark. Hands team includes the best receiver, of course, as he secures it. Big smile for Coach O. A week with a lot of attention on his return here to Oxford. He had that quote where he said, the whole time I was at Ole Miss, I actually wish I was at LSU, talking about what he considered his dream job as a Louisiana native. And of course, he unexpectedly landed it last year, taking over for Les Miles, went 5-2, got the interim tag removed, and then has had this wild roller coaster ride of a season this year. Also had the quote that got everybody's attention, saying his best memory of coaching here at Ole Miss was chicken on a stick at the gas station. So we sent the crew to see Phyllis the cook at the Four Corners Chevron Food Mart. And I'll tell you, a lot of folks followed suit. There were LSU fans showing up.
Yeah, but look, see, there was more stick there. There was nowhere to hold that chicken that we had at halftime. There was no stick. I mean, it was a stick, but there was too much chicken.
Well, it's got to be like 2 pounds of fried chicken on that stick.
I'm going to have that when this is over. I like
you didn't even need to say that. I know. There's no doubt.
That's my post-game snack.
That may be your breakfast as well. You see one of the officials on this SEC crew was injured on that last play. It's Randall Kaiser, the head linesman. Looks to be okay. There's Randall settling back into his spot. As LSU will bring this thing in for a nice soft landing. And all of a sudden, don't look now, but they're going to be potentially climbing right back up the rankings. Sitting there with 3 straight SEC wins, with Coach O getting a couple weeks to prepare for Nick Saban and number 1. As Williams is going to add to that rushing total tonight for LSU. Of course, on a day and night like today, the ESPN app is what you want to use. That is your best tool to stream every game on ESPN or ABC, at home, on the go. You get the scores, the highlights, the news all season long. You should download that app and start streaming live games now.
You know, as we see LSU now taking a knee, we talked about Darius Geis, this running game, 393 yards rushing, the efficient play and decision-making of Danny Etling. But for the 5th game this season, LSU did not turn the football over either. You're going to win a lot of football games when you take care of it that way.
And when you have that guy with the big purple 5, Coach O's return to Oxford is an impressive win. 6-2 now overall. Know all about the downfalls at Mississippi State and against Troy. But how about the last 3 weeks of tearing through Florida, the comeback against Auburn, and then running all over the Rebels.
Darius Geis was a man among boys tonight. First game that he has been 100% healthy from start to finish. He was the best player on the field. 22 rushes, 276 yards. Never was stopped for no gain or a loss of yardage. And he averaged 12.5 yards per carry.
You know, last year he set the single-game LSU record with 285 yards against Texas A&M. He could have piled it on. Tonight he finishes with 276. That's the third most in LSU history. Holly.
Well, you made some history tonight. I didn't know if you're aware or not, but 276 yards, the third highest in LSU history in a game. Your third game of over 250 yards. How are you keep making history as this season goes on?
I'm just doing what the coaches tell us to do, you know what I mean? The past few games, you know, not even 100 yards, you know what I mean? Long as we've been winning. So I just do what the coaches tell me. You know, I don't care about my personal stats. You know, this whole year, you know, it's been for Coach O. It's his first year as the head coach. And on top of that, you know, just grinding with my teammates. You know, it's never about me. You know, the O-line do a hell of a job getting me where I need to go. The coaches do a great job of preparing us, you know. Just got to thank the man above for this.
You guys have a week off now to prepare for a big game at Alabama. How has this team gotten some momentum and rolling into that big matchup?
We got a lot of momentum right now. You know, everybody started counting us out. You know, when we lost to Mississippi State, then we lost to Troy. You know, this team back. You know what I mean? All we need is a little support, and then we'll be up. You know what I mean? So we coach preached every day. You know, fight 60 minutes, 4 quarters. You know, we don't stop fighting. We fight to the end.
Well, thank you so much. History-making night for you tonight.
2 weeks from right now at #1 Alabama. Magnolia Bowl trophy is LSU's. Colorado-Washington State will be coming up on ESPN. But now time to send it back to Adnan Vir in the studio. Gentlemen, take it away.